death. And
trees just are way too strong. 34 damage, 550 health. Like, there's nothing you can do against them.
Closer. I want to see a distance closer for BlinkPool that isn't.
They could actually completely forgo having any sort of catch
remaining.
and just go for the build heroes that can live through your right-click onslaught.
5 seconds remaining.
I know you're gonna hate it, but I think that DK is alright. And Underlord is not likely in my opinion because I think that the lane is really hard.
I'm just wondering whether Slark and PA, they're normally the two that come to mind when you go up against the Drow Ranger. And
Slark is great this game.
Like if Venomancer plays the one role, then that's a bit more different.
I think there's like a decent chance of a mid-Veno. I mean, Veno's basically that
Hey,
is the PA.
Alright, Toby nailed the draft.
That's a very classic counter.
Yep.
Yeah.
Get on top of him. He can't hit you anyways. He doesn't have ulti damage. So.
But a big question: does PA have the golden immortal?
Oh, that's a good question.
I don't know. Wait, what's the new PA immortal again?
It was the previous one with the hat that shoots the cool dagger.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Did you see?
And now because you got 3 cool daggers.
That's true. Although if you're up against this much
5
right click, I think you do go
remaining.
lifesteal at 20 is my impression.
I don't know, man. 3
But-
daggers is actually really strong.
But
Like,
lifesteal against other carries that are competitive in right click, I feel like is kind of hard to pass up sometimes.
You can always itemize for it too. That's the one thing about talents that I always think, okay, lifesteal is obviously great, but if you can build a Satanic and have 3 daggers, you could go from 1% HP, pop your Satanic, and full heal.
That's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah. So
I like
there's
that
a lot of use to the triple dagger.
What build do you think he's going to go this game? We've been seeing a lot of Vanguard PA. I'm a big fan of that build.
Vanguard PA is crazy good this game.
I think there is some slight mistake in the way people are going it. They go 1-1 or they go 4-1-4. I think you need to go 4-4-1. I think 4-1-4 is way too defensive, and the marginal benefit of each blur point is not that much.
Well, you also have to consider how much effectiveness are you getting out of the cooldown on your blink. Like, let's say you're fighting and it's a 2v2 and you kill one hero instantly because you blink on him and crit him once, right? That fight's already won. Your dagger is going to hit the second guy anyway because it's a very low cooldown regardless.
10 seconds
Yeah.
So do you actually need to blink on that second guy?
I think it's good just because it is,
5 seconds
like, again,
remaining.
the marginal benefit of each blur level is relatively small.
It does get worse as you level it.
Massively, whereas like each blink cooldown is better in a big way. Like 5-second cooldown, like once your blink matches your dagger cooldown, then every time you blink on some guy, he's slowed for 4 seconds, and then your blink is a 5-second cooldown. It's like you are always on top of somebody, and that's where the Vanguard gets leveraged in my opinion, because it covers your survivability issues, and it lets you always stay on top of your opponents, and eventually you're going to get a crit.
I can see arguments for both sides, to be honest. I think that the 4-1-4 is really nice when you want to play hyper aggro, and as much as I agree with the sentiment that having a low level and blur makes the Vanguard better, if you just don't get hit half the time and you have a Vanguard, even when you get hit, you're mitigating that damage. So it's like an argument of how hard do I want to go this game? Do I want to like be at a tier 2 tower at 8 minutes with my Vanguard phase? If that's the case, then you might go 4-1-4 because that will allow you to tower dive super hard. But yeah, I can see both builds being perfectly fine this game. It just depends on preference.
It's a mix of mobility and aggressive mobility compared to do I just want to be as immeasurably tanky as possible.
Yep.
They picked up Doom 4th pick for Wind and Rain. Some of these heroes.
That Brood ban was very good. This is like the freest Brood game ever. That's one hero we forgot about that as
Yeah, well I talked about it last game, but not nearly as good as Prophet in terms of many facets.
Yeah, the early lane for the Brood is actually harder, I think.
Feels like that for sure. And against Drow Aura, the spiders would be shredded. But with that said, it's a little bit scary. I don't blame him for banning.
Dire team pick.
Okay, so Shadow Demon to provide a Wind Ranger solution. That means if this is not a Wind Ranger, basically a Wind Ranger is kind of in trouble in a lot of cases. A Wind Run won't be abusable, whereas it looked really good a moment ago. I actually think that was a really good pick for that reason. Because Wind Ranger against
I like the
those
sync with
heroes.
Mirana too. They've actually got like gank potential when they move.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And illusions, like you
10
can disrupt
seconds
Mirana
remaining.
or Drow Ranger and have super good illusions. And the arrow setup, yeah, it's shackles.
5
That was a
seconds
really
remaining.
solid pick actually. I like it.
Yeah, I'm a fan. I really like the
Choose your hero.
Shadow Demon as well. Okay, so that's their tempo control.
And another dive hero, and there isn't that much control. It's basically what Drow Silence, Doom, Arrow, Shadow Demon ulti again, very useful. He does have the PA Immortal. Congratulations, everybody.
He does. Well done.
I don't know if his Arcana's leveled up all the way though.
This is a tough one to call.
That was like an early Arcana.
It's a cool draft for sure. Okay, it is Veno on Kezu on Veno. I assume he's going to lane versus maybe
It's
the
gonna be
Moran.
offlane,
No,
right?
it's mid Morana. So it's actually mid PA versus a... Is that right?
It's going to
No,
be Morana.
Other way.
It's going to be Morana mid and...
Ember?
Well, if it is Morana mid versus Ember, that's not really a favorite lane for the
10
Ember Spirit at
seconds
all.
remaining.
But they could be putting more emphasis on holding the Drow down. If that's the case, then it's going to be like Veno
5
Naga or
seconds
Veno
remaining.
and Wind Ranger versus
Either seems good.
Yeah, versus the Drow.
And I like having a PA versus Doom as well, because Doom has no armor. So that seems good. And even landing your Infernal Blade is going to be a miss sometime.
I'm wondering how Doom's going to have that offlane ball. With that Wind Ranger and Stifling Dagger and harassment for the Wind Ranger is gonna
The creep is going to matter a lot, and also how well Shadow Demon abuses Shadow Poison, stuff like that. Because PA does kind of suck levels 1, 2, 3-ish. Not much damage. Until he gets like Aquila Phase, he just isn't a big damage threat. So they have things going for them. It's that I think that's going to be the lane that is the most wishy-washy outside of the mid lane, maybe. There's going to be combat ever. There's a lot of fighting.
Yeah, this is going to be a very fast game, no matter what.
Potentially 20 minutes, you think? 25 minutes, something like that?
All depends.
It'll seem decided by then. It might not necessarily be over, but it will be clear who's going to win it.
Okay.
Prepare for battle.
Well, we're going to jump into it. Game 3, last game of the day for one of these teams. They will get eliminated depending on how this game goes, and we'll have to wait and see. We'll throw it over to Toby and Purge for the cat.
Yeah, let's see who gets through.
The way you described last game of the day, I think it should be framed more as the team that goes home, that does not qualify to TI, is a big match for both of these guys. And I'd argue in a big way for BlinkPool. A lot of these guys have been in and out of teams this year, and drop and fall so low on that, especially for Misery, I think would be a big disappointment.
Yeah, especially after what happened last year. You thought they were going to get through with Planet Odd. They're not even a direct invite. Life became a lot harder for him in the last.
And on War side, they're trying to bring Glory to NA. So they also really want to pull out the win here.
Go BlinkPool. Go BlinkPool.
Bias cast.
Yeah. Just go and get rid of all those EG jerseys. Who are now, I noticed there's 3 of them.
There's a few back
sitting
there,
behind you. Yeah, I thought there was a little bit of a mix-up previously, but now it's just
whoever swaps the shirts just must be sick today, something like that. So the lane matchups are really going to be the question. We'll see how these stabilize a bit. Kind of interesting observer wards on the Radiant side a bit. Dire side blocks, small camp.
They're very defensive. Lux is actually going to be able to pick up another one. And you got both the bounties, and now PA. So Madara is going to run the off lane. It's against a Doom safe lane and a Wind Ranger support. It's going to be a rough lane for a PA unless you're going to be farming with Stifling Daggers.
I feel like
in mid versus the Marana, and then Bro Ranger off lane, working with the SD Warlock against
Radiant
Naga and
are
Veno, and
fortified.
they're already switching lane.
Are they?
It's going to be a long walk, though.
It will be, yeah. That's actually a pretty big loss. I thought that they would be semi-happy with these lanes, but I guess they do want to put PA versus the Drow Ranger to be able to threaten him easily. But the fact that this is a tri-lane is also going to give them a big advantage. Wind Ranger is not going to be bad by any means right now with the laning stage, but this is a whole minute that BlinkPool is going to be slightly behind in last hit. This could matter.
This is like, hey, for the glory of Misery, where he can get level 2 and have illusions and Riptide, or Ensnaring Riptide, or whatever.
It's got a fat 45 experience right now. It's not great.
Gotta find him. Now, Wind Ranger's already starting her TP up. Banishment's out, and Wind Ranger will arrive.
It's not bad. She's level 2, actually. This is the one good advantage they have. Fast level 2 from having a solo lane.
She leveled nothing up. She had a shackle opportunity, but now there's 4 heroes from Radiant on top lane too. The Doom has already started his TP, and Drow Ranger's going bottom lane, as well as the Warlock.
So we'll see if they respond.
Yeah, if they want to TP switch.
So
if go for the long run, BlinkPool to do this.
Yep, and here comes the TP. I like that. Shadow Demon's looking for a disrupt. If he can disrupt the PA in that moment, then their lane swap is effective, and then Drow gets what she wants. But they are now swapping over. The one big negative, though, is that the Wind Ranger teleported to the top lane. So she's not going to quite be able to swap. Naga will then respond. Now it is a Naga PA versus a Drow Warlock, and this is what BlinkPool wants.
It's what BlinkPool wants in the lane, but I don't know if it's what they want in the CS.
Yes.
Like Drow Ranger getting some early space for both CS as well as experience. time was lost. The only good lane for them was the fact he didn't have to move the Ember off mid, so he's able to just stand there against the Mirana with a very even trade-off between the two.
Yep.
Maybe a little bit more interesting now with the DD on Mirana.
But considering what's at stake, I think what's more important is having the right matchups. The hero that they want to pressure is Drowsy. They don't want to go even here. They want to try to win this lane if possible. And Wind Ranger now TPing bottom. They're actually going to aggro tri-lane, which makes perfect sense. Drowsy hero you want to shut down. Just get on top of him. And they could get a shackle here.
He hasn't leveled up anything. Now she levels up Power Shot instead. So they're going to Cycling Dagger and Power Shot Ritsu. You got Shadow Word to regenerate most of this. And he's got a 6, so even Cycling Dagger farming is just pushing everything else. Kezu's in trouble up on top lane. Illusions, the slow, and First Blood goes the way of Forever.
And that's the biggest loss here, is that with the Veno, if you're going to do this aggro tri-lane or put a lot of heroes against the Drow, it's going to be harder for Veno to stay alive in his lane. But he's a great lane trader. With 2 points in Poison Sting, he'll do some damage.
Attacking underneath the tower. Went in deep here, BlinkPool, even with a full creep wave. The Radiant creep wave just went rogue. Madara is found and drag it across the side.
And the Warlock heal is making such a big difference to Drow here. Because normally Drow just decent damage, but she just can't take the hits as well. This is why they ended up banning out the Oracle second phase, I believe, because they were planning to pick Warlock to stabilize this lane.
They need a shackle or something to kill off this Warlock. Power Shot won't do enough with the Riptide, a 3-man Gust from Ritsu. In that early level up in Gust. Okay.
Kind of slightly curious to me that he went so many power shots and no shackle, but I guess with the heal they just need a lot of damage. Misery also went Mirror Image, which is kind of bizarre. Me?
Yeah, not in Snare.
Yeah, he can remove Frost Arrows, he can remove Shadow Word. All kind of cool.
Started his attack. Now Misery rotates over with that Riptide Kezu. Sees a little bit more damage. He's kind of got it with the Plague Wards and the Poison Sting, but that's a lot of Shadow Poison on Kezu. He had the life to regenerate up, and Milim will go down. Kezu's safe back behind his T1 tower.
Mirror Image was amazing in that moment here. Sox is going to be trading once again with these guys down bottom, but yeah, being able to remove both the Inferno Blade and any Shadow Poison and any of that just instantly was a nice advantage for Misery, and it's going to win them this top lane a little more. How's the mid lane going? We haven't talked about that. 23-11 for Mirana, and Ember is at 19-2, so not terrible.
It got slightly imbalanced when the Mirana got a DD. That's kind of where that CS swing came.
That's really strong.
Ember had to give it a little bit more space for a while.
He's scanning
There's
for the
They're
SD.
a full level difference.
Yeah, that's more than that. Level 6 now in Mirana here. They're going to go for a kill.
Trouble. They're going again up on top. They're going in mid. The destruction down on both sides. Good luck, Mort. And Sleight of Fist dodges the arrow. So you actually get the Ember back behind the tower, but the 3 stacks was just too much. Meanwhile, up on top, Berev just popped the 3 points up in Scorched Earth and started to run down Kezu.
Yeah, he's just trying to stay as survivable as possible. That way he offsets some of this damage. But that was really cool by Milan there. The fact that he's smoke ganked from the right side instead of the left. It's much more common for supports to approach from the high ground. And if that scan would have worked, then Kaiser would have played more safe. Because he was feeling the danger after SD had just died. It's very obvious. You die in your lane, you're looking to teleport back to lane, you think, can I gank mid? Yeah, I probably can. He read that, but the scan was on the wrong side. The 50-50 failed. Hard for Ember Spirit at this point. He's still about a level and a half behind, and they're going to try to get a kill mid. First root, second root coming.
Snare down low and just back behind the tier 1 tower. A little bit too far to go deep.
Yeah. Misery was just a little out of position. Probably worried about being spotted by a ward, but if he was a little closer and they get the follow-up route and no leap, then that would have possibly been a kill.
I actually don't know how they're meant to deal with the Doombringer up on top. Like, this bottom lane's working nicely, having Sasuke here. Shackle doesn't land, so they can't go for the kill. I say that. Yeah, you can't. Gus will push him back. But this top lane Doombringer, with that many points up in Scorched Earth, like, even if you Nova and Gale him, that's not enough damage to do.
Yeah.
Like to get through the Doombringer, it's only going to get worse as he levels up more.
It's not so much about the can you kill him with your ulti combo, it's more like can you out harass his regen. Far more important. He actually misses a Gale on Kezu here, and that's going to maybe mean death for Misery. Will he ulti this? Probably not. It's only a level 3.
It's just a Naga Siren, right? Like, unless you really want to dive under this.
Yeah. She's really fast. It's hard to catch up. But Doom's got a Ring of Health picked up. He's going to be spamming Scorched Earth a lot. It's more like...
Dead.
Oh yeah. Kezu just needs more points and Poison Sting, basically. That's the best way to win these trade wars. But he's also against a dual lane, so he needs to always know who his opponents are, which is why he's gotten 2 points in Plague now. because otherwise it's much easier for them to do like a Shadow Demon Disruption into Doom getting an easy kill. So it's a hard lane for Kezu. He's essentially off lane this game, and that means that BlinkPool need to get something done against this Drow Ranger. It's really important, and it's working. Drow's not even 5 yet. So they're slightly outlaning her down here.
They're looking for information now, BlinkPool. Keeping Misery in towards the mid lane, puts down both Sentry as well as Observer. Cleared out the area, and Mirana is perfectly happy with this. 48-17 on her CS. It's the 12 CS for a Doombringer. It just keeps rising, and those two heroes are so far ahead in the net worth too. Ritsu's tanking it for the team, but Mirana and Doom are definitely coming out on top.
They're not going to be unhappy with where they're at in the game right now. Need to just keep getting kills, maybe kill Ritsu, but he ferries out an extra Tango. He's got a 7-stick here.
Yeah, and he's got a level 2 Shadow Word. There's always healing him back up again.
Yeah.
Like there's 10 health a second. They're having to get through.
Brev does end
Meanwhile,
up getting the
Venomman's
kill.
going to go down. That was not even a Doom being committed. Just the Shadow Demon Disruption and Cat.
Huge kill. I mean, Doom is not going to have to worry about these Plague Wards. They don't do very much damage to him. The Stout Shield doesn't work, but the damage is heavily reduced against heroes, so I think it's like 50% or something against heroes. I wonder if the lane would have been different if he just maxed out Poison Sting maybe and made the trades better, but I'm not 100%.
Spirit Jump in towards mid, not going to pay off. He really wants to try and get aggressive on that Mirana, but even then, like, they haven't even really thought about it with Mirana getting so many levels early on. She's already got her ultimate, so if they need to Moonlight Shadow to stay, they can do this too. So BlinkPool just have to start thinking about detection if they're gonna go for these ganks.
Oh, did you see the Veno rotate down here? He's sliding in weight. If he gets a Gale, it's gonna be easy. I don't know if he's spotted or not by the... Alright, here comes the chase.
There's the dagger forward, gets the gust off, but the Gale will connect. TP support coming in. SD, defensive disruption. Starts with both the catcher and he's level 6 with the purge onto Badara. Ritsu is the Moonlight Shadow, protecting him. He's still got 10 stick charges, so he'll live. The Warlock will not be so lucky, but with the Fatal Bonds connecting them, the poison damage, attack into Kezu, that PA continues to drop as Kezu takes so much damage. Badara will survive barely. Meanwhile, up on top, Nagasar and Doom Forever, making the most of the space created. Gets the kill, pushes the tower.
So definitely looks like War is winning the laning stage here. They almost killed the Drow Ranger. Snagging that kill would have been huge, moderately, but they're still turning around pretty well. It was a really good TP from Milan there. Speaking of which, he might actually die. Yeah, it looks like he is going to die here. He can land a hit.
Wind run, try and dodge. The counter continued to tick. He got the kill before death, so it was experience.
I don't know if that was worth it if you're giving it to a Drow who you're trying to shut down anyways. I really thought he was going to get that kill though. He had to work for it.
She's 6 now. So welcome to the increased damage. Mirana now has the plus 28, making her 92 plus 82. Distro thing.
Not even anything that Brawl needs to win on Mirana. This is his hero, man. He is so good at this guy.
Korean Ember. They're close, and you've also got the Invis rune in the hands of the Ember Spirit.
Oh, I like this. Misery used a mirror image. He's going to put an illusion mid to make it seem like he's standing there, to make it a little bit less obvious of a gank. Although his illusion is actually not moving in the slightest, so they need to execute this gank soon before Brawl becomes wise. And looks like they've got...
Shackle is going to launch, and they have enough burst damage with the Searing Chains to hold them in position. But at the same time, War's rotated Ritsu to the top lane. The Drow Ranger knew the gank was eventually going to come on bottom. So they just forced the top tower. Use Forev. Forward.
Because they're in trouble now.
Team. Yeah, perched up, catch it. This here's the Gale onto Forev. Shadow Word will keep Forev's life up high enough. Not to mention the Scorched Earth as well.
Been a tough game for Kezu. They're prepping to fight mid.
Yeah, but that rock is up for the Warlock, and he's got the Fatal Bonds available, so BlinkPool wants to stick around. They'll have to fight into that great team fight of the Warlock. Mirana, arrow on bottom. It does not connect.
He's got to be careful here.
He's got nowhere to jump.
Way too much nuke damage. This is where Bryle's the most dangerous, I think. He always wins his lane, it seems like. He always gets this level advantage, and then sometimes he just gets these kills like this because the hero has so much burst damage, and all of these leaps means he can fight a lot of heroes that have like gaps of survivability against it. And he denies the tower as well. That was such a good rotation.
Welcome to the lane, Kezu. And again, also SD, defensive disruption, trying to dodge some of the damage. Ritsu's in the neighborhood, goes for the gust, slowing down the Ember Spirit, who is copping a fair chunk of damage to get rid of those Plague Wards. Causing too many problems, and the Purge on the Ember Spirit, he'll be fine. Back up the Shrine.
very hard for them to get things done because the one tempo here on BlinkPool, the Ember Spirit, got outlaned naturally. Maybe not naturally because Bryle is just a boss.
I think Bryle's about to kill Misery. He's got the Observer Ward down. The Moonlight Shadow now leaps forward, starts with the Starfall, gets rid of all the illusions, and damn that damage. Even if he doesn't connect on the arrow.
Got double damage right now.
Yep, rips apart the Naga Siren.
Wraithband, Phase Boots, Ring of Aquila, and the Drought Aura. He's actually just Radiant Space all over the place. And they're still waiting for Ember Spirit to catch up. He's got some items coming, and it's going to be Power Treads, so that's kind of what they've been waiting for.
Song of the Siren available. Misery really want to set this one up, knowing the Warlock is sitting in the back lines with Rock available.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Maybe with a good shackle. They're fortifying the tower, trying to protect it. And there's the Song of the Siren. Warlock keeping his distance as far as he can. Misery does catch him. He's got all 4 heroes, but where's that Nova? It only connects on one, but then again, defensive disruption. The SD got it off. He avoided a little bit of the gale, but that's going to be Kezu going down pretty damn quickly. BlinkPool, I was waiting for the initiation, at least get the denial on the mid tower.
This is just not working out for BlinkPool here. They've tried to stabilize with their plan here in their lane matchups, but it's just not working out. Like the PA did not crush the Drought Ranger, and the Veno has just been behind all game. And I don't know if this is a mistake, but
go for Roshan.
they do scout it out at least with the power shot, but they just haven't gotten anything out of Kezu. Like him even ulting there, it's just not that good. He has level 2 Poison Sting, which doesn't do that much damage, and he's got level 1 Gale. So even if he drops his combo, it's not like an auto teamfight win.
Defensive disruption has to come up from the SD, shackled to a tree. It's a little bit harder. Stick Chance will buy him a little bit more time, and the Doom is out in the Wind Ranger. You still see Misery wanting the kill, but one attack won't be enough. The Rockstun controls, and War bring the hammer, and now with the Golem, they can take Roshan.
This Shadow Demon is just putting himself in these dangerous positions. Their opponents are trying to get kills. He's got a buyback for power. Like, man, they are just completely outplaying BlinkPool right now. The Frev has just been dominating his lane. He's 4-on-3. He went Phase Drum, then he picks up a Hood, and now Veno actually does nothing. I don't know if he wasn't expecting Frev to max out Scorched Earth or what, and Kezu did need Plague Wards, but I don't know if he needed 4 points. But he needed to win the trade more, and it just didn't happen. He was just out lane.
Found Kezu again. He just galed the Golem to try and run away, but here comes the Warlock. 1 point up in upheaval, enough slow, and look at Parev. Drum charge, Phase Boost, scores Dirt, damn, he goes fast, and he's got the Purge Creep inside of him. And no one's staying close to him at all. Same time, trade off in mid. Naga Siren will go down. They found they may get more. Ember Spirit purged up. Yeah, he's dead. He's got Shadow Poison that will kill him anyway. My lord, this is getting completely out of hand.
It is. I mean, they have a Drow advantage, and they also had lane matchup advantage. Like, Mirana has damage bonus from the start of the game all the way through the mid game. Ember Spirit could not compete as much. Mirana got that double damage rune that gave him an even bigger lane advantage. And PA is over here on the bot lane just trying to catch up in any way that she can. Because they didn't win their lane hard enough. The Warlock offset so much of the harass that the PA and the Wind Ranger threw out. So they lost top lane, they lost mid lane, and they went even bottom. That's why they're getting stomped right now. This is where Drow wants to be.
They're going to need to wait around this somehow. PA has been able to get a lot of space to farm up, so she's now 1 Mithril Hammer away from having a Deso. So PA could play the range game, but she needs levels. She
needs everything.
Yeah, she does need everything, but at least she's got some farm. Like, only 1,000 net worth behind that of the War Cause. And if you're able to get the Desolator, at least with Stifling Dagger from range, and if you can't get to that level 20 in a reasonable time with the triple daggers, it can be really problematic for heroes like SD, who don't have a lot of life, even Warlock.
It's not even close to that point in time, though. Like, PA should be worried about getting to level 15 right now, to even finishing the Deso.
Yeah, I'm thinking a little bit further ahead. Thinking about like the win condition for BlinkPool, because right now it just seems they have to delay until they get critical items on their cores.
They need to make some kind of... everything's weird. They have very good team fight, but their gank is hard.
Ember, and they know exactly where his spirit is. Warlock's going to come in close. Even can Fatal Bond him to the creep wave too, so there is no real running from this. And Ember knew at the same time he can say goodbye again to the Venomancer.
Is that a solo kill? I think that was a solo kill bump. This guy is so good, actually.
It was a solo kill on SD.
This guy's one of my favorite supports.
An Ether Lens on SD.
He can cast Shadow Poison so far. It's like the whole screen. It's actually, the circle is actually bigger than the whole screen. And I love his skill build. Fast experience gain. He's just chasing people down. Veno just can't defend himself. At best, he could try to teleport, but then he's just going to get disrupted. So this game is over for Veno essentially. This is worse than a support, more or less. He's got some items, but they're not going to make his hero much better. He's catching up heavily in levels. That's the best he can do. And Ember never even got on the game in terms of gank pressure, because he hit 6 so late because of the outlane from Mirana plus Drago Aura.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
Just an overwhelming
Mirana
advantage.
easily takes the top, cleans the wave, heavy physical damage into buildings.
And now they just buy BKBs.
But so the only thing they don't have is the huge tank that can sit on the front lines if they go high ground, because Ferev's going Blink Dagger. But it may not be necessary if they can just find kill after kill, or they just illusion spam it.
Or they can just right-click it with Mirana Drow. Like, they've got so much range. It should be straightforward. He does have a Remnant down.
He has a Remnant, so we'll need to jump back to that before he gets silenced. But if the rock comes first from Kitrak, okay, if you actually just get the gust. Sorry, I forgot about this 5-second silence the Drow Ranger carries in her arsenal.
The one thing that she does, disable-wise more or less. He's going to catch Wind Ranger on the mid lane. He should have a disruption. Okay, yeah, he'll play it safe.
He actually started to back away. If it wasn't for the Etherlands, he wouldn't have been in range to complete that.
Yeah, that was interesting. He probably misclicked or something.
Testing max range.
Another catch, another level. Milan has been in 12 of his team's 19 kills. And now BlinkPool is just doing whatever they can. Kezu's going to do a mix of like pushing out the bot lane and jungling here, because it just doesn't feel safe for him to go up any farther. The Deso is complete on PA at least. They've got that going for them. But he's got to worry about ping too.
He can't stand in the fight, and he's still only got level 1 in the coup de grace.
Yep. It's an awful place for them to be. And PA without a Battle Fury is going to take even longer to catch up. The hero that you kind of want to just be ahead of, or be ahead on a little bit. But they were so far behind that these heroes like Ember that were supposed to come online just couldn't. Like a lot of teams need like this one hero that just kind of sits in a lane and always wins the trade. Veno and Doom are the equivalents this game. It's like your typical offlane hero. You just want to be able to out-harass and therefore win the lane and therefore control the lane. And that just creates a lot of space for your rest of the team to do stuff. But Veno never got that stabilization. Ember Spirit never got the levels to actually move around and gank. So now they're just playing in a defensive standpoint. They have to do this because they're losing. The draft wasn't supposed to be here. Yeah. And then Naga is like a teamfight winner. Wind Ranger is like a mix of ganker, harass, teamfight winner. And their heroes just don't match up well now. So the draw strat's in.
This is the third time lucky. Killing a Throw Ranger. Killing a Throw Ranger. Killing a Throw Shot. Throws on the mind. Naga illusion scouts it out. Power Shot will reach, and instantly they back out. In fact, they smoke and they Moonlight Shadow. BlinkPool also went for their own. The arrow flies forward and it connects with the Kezu. No Nova in this fight. He can buy back and come in. In fact, it's exactly what he's going to do. The tier 2 tower. Spirit jumping forward. Remember, they're still battling the Moonlight Shadow, but that's why they have the Sentry Walls down. Rock create.
That's all they have.
Ember will fall. Warlock and Drow. They're outrunning the Song of the Siren. And now buyback. Double is out as Ember's fall back. They'll connect on the Nova. Mirana will fall as a huge spree to end as the Doombringer just wants to stand his ground, purge off what he can, continue the run back with his Phase Boost. He's back under the tier 1 tower. If he turns with Infernal Blade, he could potentially kill off Misery, but they jump forward with the Ember Spirit and the PA to find the kill. And BlinkPool, my god, they needed that to make the buyback worthwhile.
Yes, I thought that fight was 100% over, but
he almost died to the golem.
It's very low. I can't believe they won that fight. That was amazing. I thought it was over when Ember went in. I mean, was that the only buyback? Oh, they had one on Kezu as well. That's certainly worth it, though. If they get the Roche, everything is worthwhile. There's sick play from Milan as well. The Ember jumps in, and he got ultied by the Demonic Purge and removes Flame Guard, and then all of a sudden Ember had no damage. He'd use all of his remnants just to try to kill, and it just didn't succeed. The only thing that won them that fight was buybacks and Song buying time for those buyback heroes to return to the fight. Only reason they won that fight.
Well, BlinkPool can now use this to start building up their items. Madara, he only just got the Desolator before. Now he's just recipe away from having a full BKB. Not a healthy man, and he also got levels, probably more important.
Everybody did that game. Or that fight, at least. Soxa picking up level 12 as well. He's going to be working towards a Maelstrom. Apparently they're worried about damage. They should be. Ritsu with the Shadow Blade, though, could get a solo kill, but he's got his eyes on the bot lane. definitely
He'll
kill
get there in
possibility.
time. That's a max silence. That's 6 seconds. Naga dies in the meantime. Because, hey, it's what Nagas do.
True. And he's gonna wait for another Shadow Blade cooldown. He's got 10 seconds. I think he might need to attack with the invis and then silence. If not, otherwise, I don't think it's gonna last long enough. But we'll see. He's about to. He might even get to start from tree range. Here he goes.
Yep. There's your gust, and he did it perfectly. Attack first, get the gust off, and then follow through. Simple kill.
And it's just amazing. Like if you compare Drow and Reserve last game, there was no concept of Drow getting a solo kill. But if you're ahead on Drow and you get a Shadow Blade like this, and you're here against a hero like Ember Spirit, it's certainly a possibility. So there's just like, oh, we'll see a kill here maybe.
Oh, Kezu, not where you wanted to be. The Shackle, however, wonderful. But then Doom jumps in, out of range for his own Doom. Warlock has to begin his own TP out, needs regeneration, decides to cancel it. Shadow Word and Stick Charge will be enough, and then lets the Tranquil Boots do the rest.
That was a good TP. Yeah, if he ultis there, he doesn't get the kill. That's what's so cool about the Ember Drow matchup, is it's a swing, right? If Ember's way ahead, Drow feels bad. If Drow's way ahead, Ember feels bad. So another result of the laning being an advantage for War.
I cannot believe how much bonus damage you got on the Mirana. Like, yeah, plus 20 damage from the talent, but like, she's walking around with plus 162, with only 60 of that's coming from the Drow Ranger.
Yeah, it's all adding up. Ring of Aquila phase boots, Maelstrom damage is raw, BKB damage, everything. The 20 damage perk, all adds up.
Shadow Demon has a blink dagger for initiative too now. Or
this is the dream, man.
Save.
Always going to be there. Casts the spell he needs to, basically.
They're so maneuverable, like both Doom and the SD having the blink daggers. Mirana's got the 3 leaps available. It tracks the sacrifice, sitting below 2,000 net worth for his team, but he knows his role. Drop rocket, fatal bond, and so far he's done that twice wonderfully.
Well, even pushing out the bot lane, go for Shadow Poison damage. Probably worthwhile. When he's got this many mobility items between the Blink Aether Lens, this is more than fine over the movement speed. He doesn't need the movement speed that much.
SD, create more of himself and then bait.
Oh, this is cool.
Sends one illusion up underneath the dire orbs. He's twitching it as well, to a point where you may think it's real and initiate on it, but if they don't get close enough, Ember Spirit jumps from range, so does the Phantom Assassin. They don't always break the smokes.
This can. They know this one's real. They're gonna power shot for vision, and they'll see him. Quick blink,
the blade and the TP out with the extra vision, man. Oh, villain!
Nice
They saw him with the Plague Ward, but the Shackle wouldn't have lasted in time.
That was sick. No deaths, but either way they get the tower, but it makes them spend a lot more time, and I'm sure they would love to have a kill.
And now Shadow Poison does the deep push anyway. Like, they're coming close. He starts the disruption. Catcher. Madara's not happy. Meanwhile, Drow Ranger's just fighting where the tier 2 talent used to be on top lane.
He definitely wants to split push, but he's got to be careful. This is one of Drow's weaknesses. Is once he goes high ground, he can't get away from the towers very fast. Somebody that's mobile can chase him down with the dust and secure kills.
It's wasting time at BlinkPool. Like, they got the Aegis of the Immortal. They want to be able to have a fight, or at least claim bigger objectives. But at the moment, it seems like they're just having to retreat. They can take the bottom lane out. They can establish, as you can see with Vision, the Observer Wards are all over the Radiant jungle.
At least they do control the enemy jungle. That's one good advantage. The map's basically offset right now. It's actually the same towers, more or less. Just a tier 2 mid is the only thing that isn't even. So with that Aegis fight, BlinkPool definitely pulled themselves back in the game. Even with the 2 buybacks, I mean, they went from like a 9k gold advantage to a 4k. Now it's trickled up to a 7k again, so they're still a little far behind, but I think their chances are substantially better now for the rest of the game.
Keep the pressure on, find a double damage rune on bottom river. I think they can really do much more with this.
You know, PA hits as hard as the
giving him
Mirana.
the chance. Yeah, plus 200 on him.
Smoke to clear their jungle now. The nice
There goes
thing to
the
do.
Aegis.
Yep, that's why
And
they're smoking.
they're instantly hunting for a kill.
Might find a Wind
they are
Ranger.
not waiting.
That's why Sox is in this area. They did spot him briefly. They can definitely catch him if they want to, but good tree usage here. Make it a lot harder. They saw the power shot. They might go for it now.
Yeah, Milton's right behind him. Poison gets the vision, starts with the purge, and then a quick jump forward. There will be a shackle out, but it will not save the Wind Ranger. But Drow Ranger is well by himself. He's going to go for another solo kill on the Ember Spirit. Doesn't have the Hurricane Pike to push back. Thanks to the 1 charges, he'll have a little bit of extra life. Starts the TP, the damage, it is there. No real extra crit from Madara, but it's enough to kill off the Drow Ranger. A lot of money for Kezu, who's actually the one who got the kill.
It was a really good try by the Ember. He saved his wand till the last second. It was one hit away from being able to escape between Slight and a Fire Remnant. So he's going to be a little sad about that one, but either way they get a big gold swing just because that guy had a streak on him. And losing Sox on the other lane wasn't a big loss. He actually bought up before he died, so it was a smoke and a lot of effort from War trading with the Drow's fine. Put Kezu towards his eggs a little faster.
I want to see how BlinkPool wants to try and take the next 10-15 minutes. Is it that time when you just wait for Roshan, you just play around Roshan, or can they force down some lanes? Can they even force a team fight against War?
They can definitely force lanes. I think they're interested in a team fight if it's the right circumstances. Ember's almost got his Aeon Disc. He's about 900 gold away. Once he finishes that, it's a lot safer for him to do split pushing. The only hero they really have to worry about is Doom. But because Doom only has a blink and not a Shadow Blade, as long as they have decent warding, it should be straightforward more or less for them to actually see Doom's approach. So as long as he doesn't get doomed, he shouldn't die in any of these side gank. Although
I wonder if Doom should have like a Shadow Blade pickup, but instead he's going to go for Shiva's.
Which I think is fine, because their opponents still do a lot of physical damage. So if he goes Shiva's, he doesn't die as much to PA. Yes, he can do cores easy enough, but his team is already so good at ganking, he doesn't need to exert that aspect of his hero, I don't think. This is fine.
Troy's going to have a BKB. 1 gold away from being able to buy the recipe.
Would have been nice in the last fight. I don't know if it would have saved him, I guess. Would have stopped a little magic, but...
But they'll have 2 10-second BKBs and a full pipe going into the next fight. And you've still got SD who could potentially go for more of a saving role, depending on how he feels the fight's going down.
Yep. Benno does pick up a gem, by the way, so there should be ward control. There's nothing really down here in the lane, but... Those dire scan. I think Kaiser just checking to see if there was an invis here on top of him. Almost got a
Kezu's build with a Veil and Blink Dagger, guaranteed ultimate.
It's the best way he can contribute by far. They do have a lot of BKBs. They've got a pipe, so they've got lots of solutions. It'll do something.
Wall looking, drawing a line directly towards the Wind Ranger, towards the Ancient.
Just always putting himself in the right spot.
Take him up a very rough hill. Nice Plague Ward. A little bit higher up so they can see around the corner, but they've already started to back off.
With the Aether Lens ward.
Waits for the perfect time when they backed off. Now Moonlight Shadow. Wind Ranger, very visible underneath that orb. They can even trap her in there with the disruption. Got hit by the Riptide. Now the arrows fly forward. Missed timing, however. The arrow was meant to connect onto the Wind Ranger. Did not work.
So Moonlight Shadow will be on cooldown now. A good time now for BlinkPool to look for a fight. And they're actually going to catch Shritsu, maybe? It doesn't work.
Shackle does not latch into the Shadow Blade, and the dust comes very late.
I think they were hoping that... I guess they would have seen the Shackle if it caught, but... A little unfortunate that Sox didn't have that dust. If he does, he could dust before the Shackle hits, and maybe they catch Drow.
Got 1 minute 20 until Roshan, so he's the next port of call.
Gotta find the right initiation. That'll change everything. Shackle into burst damage, and then goes well.
Warlock. Scout it out. Blink forward. As it can go to work. Ensnare will cancel the TP away to safety. That's going to be
kind of
one
rotating.
very dead Warlock, or maybe not. He actually drops the rock, and with a Fatal Bond, he's going to kill off Naga. The Doom's onto the BKB. Phantom Assassin. Buyback comes out from Naga because they need that extra help on top of the Shrine. Not to mention the regeneration that comes with it, but the damage on the PA. It's way too much. Naga finishes the TP in, but the BKB on Ritsu. He can just stand and kill. It's too easy. That's 2 heroes down without buyback available. Yeah, they dropped the rock for the Warlock, but Song of the Sirens down too.
I don't blame Misery for trying that. He almost saved the PA, but the PA was just dying very rapidly. 50% of the attacks missed, but they all just hit so hard it didn't matter. Just gets blown up. 2 dead heroes and Song on cooldown. It's definitely time to high ground here.
Yep. They're going to go on for another 10 seconds. Nice Shackle, but Doom so quickly. Jumping forward, purging up the Wind Ranger. No way just to wind run away into regular safety. And even the Flame Guard, they can't even keep that up forever. It's too easy for him to do this. The Shackle will connect on from the dead Golem onto the Drow Ranger. But hey, there's more Drows where that came from with the help of SD. Make a couple. The Sleight of Fist and Maelstrom gets rid of them. But this melee right is dying so quickly. And now the Venomancer. It's a good Nova. And they haven't finished the melee rack. There's one hit away from going down. The catapults will do that work for
Got
them.
BKBs
The
though.
Guru Ranger needs some life, and yep, the BKB's back up again. Aeon Disc will find some time. Brill needs to actually do that as well. A quick slide of fist. It doesn't do the damage to kill off the Mirana. That's why he's jumping in deeper. Ember, do you know where he went? He's in the treat. I think he knows the regeneration. The Gale will connect, and the power shot. A lot of work. Even the SD trying to deny himself up to the Ancients will not be successful. And this now opens up Roshan because there's a double damage rune that just pulls up the Phantom Assassin. Yeah, way.
What a grab there from BlinkPool. It's still a great chase. I was feeling very scared for the Ember as he was running in 4 heroes, but the Aeon Disc did everything it needed to. All of their turn and attack on him just ended up keeping him alive, and they got them low enough that they could gap close and chase. And that's what's so cool about Veno in some ways. When he does bomb like that, yeah, they're gonna use BKBs and stuff, but by the time the fight goes on for 20 seconds, their HP is low. And they were able to work them down.
They're going to try and push down the mid lane. Madara still with the rest of this double damage runes feeding into the tier 2 tower. Ember Spirit's regenerating, and he'll be back at the front line shortly. The only one they don't have there is Misery. He's on top lane trying to give a little bit more momentum to the north.
And he did get the dagger perk. For those curious, I sure was.
Triple. It's too good. It's way too good.
Yeah, it's definitely very useful. His right-click damage is not going to be bad. Another thing is Mirana as a hero doesn't buy that many agility granting items these days, so he's actually going to have to worry a little bit about some of this right-click damage. And you can really see it, even with BKBs up, they still have some issues fighting against BlinkPool.
They're going to Moonlight Shadow. BlinkPool have already decided to back off. The fact that there's no one defending against this top lane. Okay, Mirana reveals herself out of the Moonlight Shadow. She needed to stop the creep wave, or else the tier 2 tower would have taken excess damage.
Overall, just great trade, I think. Considering the circumstance for BlinkPool, they traded a Rax for a full team wipe, they got a Roche, and they got a tier 2, and they got a tier 1. Absolutely worth it with the amount of push that they have.
They're getting so much space for Misery. Like, he's 7k net worth, but he's looking at a Radiant.
I like
Meteor
that.
Hammer as well as Radiant are going to mess around with War's team fight even more.
The Meteor Hammer has been hard for him to use so far just because they haven't had a lot of easy setups, but Radiance at least is going to create so much more pressure on the map, and if they are down barracks, having Radiance push is godly this game. It's going to be annoying to deal with. It's going to interrupt possible blink daggers. You can just run them at Drow Ranger and Mirana, and they're going to have to deal with it. Not that they won't be able to kill it rapidly, but I think it's a good choice here. There's not a lot of other items that are just going to make them good.
Oh, jump forward. PA putting that Abyssal Blade to work. Perfect lockdown onto the SD, and he's down for a minute. That's an opening to go straight down mid with the Aegis Immortal still intact in BlinkPool's PA. It's time to go. The Dro's given some momentum towards the top lane, but she'll need to TP back as well.
She'll stay up top for a bit though. There's always the necessary threat, but again, Drow not the safest split pusher, and they are pretty much high ground.
They need the SD Shadow Poison for the defense. Like without that, like they can't just lob up the creep waves from safety.
Yeah, they'd actually
They fortify instead.
They don't have a lot of good ways to just poke and slow this down actually.
Meanwhile, Stifling Dagger, they can poke. Ah, no cred.
There will be
Arrow
more.
flies forward, only hits the illusion, and there goes 3 of them, gets the bash at least.
Upheaval's all they got here. No arrow for 9 seconds. And yeah, they're getting crits now. Brawl at half HP, the tower's gonna fall.
And Ember's defending the top lane. He goes through, jumps straight back to the front lines too. So he's got no problem with this. The attack from Ritsu is failing, but Mirana's up with Moonlight Shadow go to work.
Oh, they get up.
Away. So fast, Song of the Siren, Misery. Just wants to run away. The arrow, go and play catch. Almost clipped the tail of that fish.
That's amazing how fast. I don't know if they just reacted fast or what, but the exact time he goes into Doom, he blinks out, getting away from that fight.
Out. So over on Kazu with the Purge and the catcher. That's a lot of damage, but not enough to kill him. And then Millen, it's his turn to blink away. They're trying to use the illusions of the SD to actually get the kill.
Oh, he might die.
Yeah, he's real low. The TP complete, still survive.
Shadow Demon's played that game before. He knows what to fear, and he's playing it ahead. The Blink Strike comes, but doesn't get Abyssal in time, and doing a good job pushing limits. No kill out of it, but BlinkPool is now pretty much stabilized. They're equal on towers, more or less. They're equal on Raxes. It's also in the same lane, too.
Yeah, everything's pretty balanced. The only thing which is a little bit different is that tier 1 tower still exists on the bottom lane for BlinkPool. The off lane, small tower event. But you've also opened up shrines if anyone feels like they can even get close enough to kill them off.
I'm sure PA can deal with these, no problem. Can't dagger it, unfortunately, but the other stuff should go well. PA queuing up a Lincoln Sphere. Anything else interesting? Shiva's on the way for Ember, at least like, yeah, he's actually not that far away. About 300 gold. That's really fast, actually. I feel like he just finished the Aeon Disc, and now he's got his next item.
Do you actually like the Aeon Disc against the Shadow Demon?
On Ember? Yeah, it's mandatory, just because there's too many disables that can deal with you. You don't want to have a BKB when you get silenced every time that you're split pushing. Having Aeon Disc is like just a threat remover, essentially.
They see the Doombringer. He's coming up around the side. He's looking for someone. He's found Madara. On the hero, he probably believes he can go on Warlock. Underneath the sentry, shackled, locked in, and destroyed. They
just lost Aegis.
The PA, but then again, will it be enough? With a quick jump up, they're both through the Undisc already, and the damage coming in from Mirana. A triple kill for her, making an ultra. No, Ritsu will steal it. The thief.
Dude, they're all dead. He gets a song up, but he dies at the same time. I just looked around that team fight. I'm like, this guy's silenced, this guy's silenced. Everybody was silenced in that fight. And finally, Wind and Rain got to do what they wanted. They doomed the PA right when the Aegis is going down. They timed that thing. That's obviously what they're fighting. It looked so bad with Warlock dying, but as soon as that Aegis gets burned through and you know that Doom is being traded for it, bam, huge team fight win. And now they're going to try to take a second Rax.
2 buybacks. It's time to bail. You got big ones, Venomancer and PA. You had to use their money, and not to mention having it on cooldown. Take out a couple of these shrines, move on to the next objectives.
It's been a long time since they got a win on War, and finally they pick up a decent one. 2 solid buybacks. That means next time PA dies, she's dead for a long time. And there's still a pretty good distance until the next Roche, so this could cause BlinkPool to play a lot safer for now. But
well, they need to farm up the PA. They need to get the Lincoln Spear, so that Doom is not as big a problem for her. But the problem was she's just spent her money, which kind of sets it back so far.
Yeah. And on the other bright side, though, if they do want to play passive until next Roche, they do have the Radiance finished on Misery. So this is like the time where Misery will go from having a great farming acceleration damage item to in maybe 10 minutes he's going to have some big boy item that makes sure that he doesn't actually die that easily in these fights. Maybe he gets his own Lincolns, you know? Start double stacking Lincolns on the right here. Something like that would be really beneficial. Or even a Lotus Orb. Remove sounds from himself kind of a thing.
Goodbye, Observer once. Gem of True Sight's now in the hands of Karev. So they've kind of lost that vision game that came from the Venomancer. They've actually got 2 gems, one on the SD and one on the Doom.
Yeah, that's a big loss.
Every coin
prize is mine. Radiant
interesting to see they actually walk around with both of them outside the base.
Both Witch Heroes? Oh, the 2 gems?
No, they just dropped it. They just dropped the SD one.
It's hard not to sometimes if you're worried about Invis Heroes potentially, but there's not. I don't think there's any on BlinkPool, right? No 20 yet for Wind Rangers, so one is going to suffice, and they're going to go high ground top lane. It's a good option.
Some troubles on bottom though. Like that's a full creep we're pushing in on the tier 3 tower. I suppose it'll defend itself anyway.
Yeah.
But it definitely reveals to BlinkPool that something is up from War.
Yep, they use Draw Aura as well, so the creep way bottom. No problem solved. Maybe if Naga was still down there, this would have been fine, but I would have liked maybe one more mirror image. He does send it.
It's the Draw Aura and the 2 illusions. Yeah, just that tier 3 tower. BlinkPool lose control of the map, and that siege is going to be so much easier.
Yeah. And Misery did push out the other lanes decently well. The mid lane gets pushed. Bot lane is slightly pressured. He's doing a good job. Slowing stuff down at least. But that was...
They answered the Radiance with the MK2. Like, both of them can be done.
Yeah.
In fact, one of them's already done. The other one is on Ritsu.
But let's be real. There were going to be some MKBs this game, no matter what. Especially against the PA. It was going to happen. But definitely makes the Radiance a little bit worse, but I still think there's going to be value in this. The map control is the biggest thing. Because a draw lineup, they're almost always going to be looking for these kind of 5-man raw advantage engagements, and split pushing is always going to give you a solution against them. They do pick up another gem, 3 gems in the game now. So BlinkPool is going to be able to offset that, and no more vision advantage for the enemy team.
Smoke gank up. They're on the run, and they're hovering around Roshan. He will respawn in 1 minute 14. It's a little bit off, but BlinkPool, they are all at home. They are not leaving.
Yep, they want to fight here. They kill PA. PA is dead for a long time, and that should give them Roche or another Rax. This is the perfect time to engage.
No buybacks for 4.5 minutes. The countdown timer on that PA and Benno.
And Misery is continuing to push lanes with Radiance. is illusions are not doing the best tanking a whole creep wave, but as long as he micros them well, it's going to work just fine. Stealing their own little Radiance. That's maybe one big negative of the Radiance build against an SD, I suppose.
Turn it the other way.
He'll die in a second anyways. Only lasts as long as the original disrupted person.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
They're just going to have to turtle for a bit, and they're still not losing that much gold. And normally I'd be like, man, this sucks. All the farm is going to Naga Siren. But again, that's a support. He's got a lot of slots to go.
PA, actually, don't want to see more of it on PA. Like, yeah, a lot of the side lane stuff's going to Naga. That's great.
Farm, you're saying?
Yeah, Madara needs, like, it's the Lincoln Sphere for me. I'm thinking, like, how the team fights really play out. You're not going to get anything on a Wind Ranger. The Ember Spirit's having a hard enough time, whereas Aeon Disc doesn't even do anything if the SC's on top of him.
It's definitely a bit of a worry for sure, that he has to sit in the base. But this is the penalty that has happened because of his buyback and the nice play of War to play around that. It's done differently, it's less of an issue.
Roshan's up. Fresh Halberd as well for the Doombringer coming into this fight.
Did they have any more smokes? I don't see any just yet. I don't see any smokes on the Radiant team actually.
There's a smoke at the backpack of a Venomancer.
Just dire ones, huh? They do
Yeah,
have.
that's kind of it for now.
They have the. They do have Moonlight Shadow. In fact, that's the perk they went. Moonlight Shadow cooldown, 25-second cooldown, 18-second duration. Gives a 15% movement speed bonus, and this is how they find fights for the rest of the game.
Look at the Plague Ward. Blink, they know. Just make a perimeter.
Misery's position is very safe. They know the heroes that get doomed. If those two get doomed, either Naga or the PA, then things are bad. We're going to hear that noise a lot for the rest of the game.
Ping, ping, ping.
No, shadows take us. Look at this wall.
Well, they're coming underneath the Obs and Sentry, but remember, it's the Gem of True Sight that's in the hands of War.
I love the ward that Mulan put down. So cool. Getting a little aggressive, but looking for enemy heroes. Naga Illusion back to the top lane. Oh, he's not quite microing it well.
They're pushing mid. They're actually coming straight down the mid lane. Ember's gonna worry about the top. He's left the Spirit behind so we can rejoin him.
Feels like King of the Hill, man. BlinkPool finds the next hill that's fun to defend, and that's where they stand. This time on the enemy side. This is a pretty good position to have, I would argue. The Sentry should spot.
Moonlight Shadow for Ram, right in the middle of them all, and before he gets the Doom onto the Phantom
Misery
Assassin,
Song.
gets the BKB up with a rock down and the Fatal Bonds.
No, he's dead.
BlinkPool, they are going to lose both of them and then move the attention over towards the SD. Purged up against Spirit Jump away. There goes your Aeon Disc trigger. But as he hits the deck, it's all gone. And so are the BlinkPool players. A quick jump out for the last attack from Brule will be able to do it, and they're looking for more. Down the river. Wind Rangers on the run, but 2 hits, my lord. An ultra kill for the Marauder. The arrow's going to fly up.
The arrow
Connects. A 5-second stun on the Phantom Assassin. Naga can try and slow this down. But you know what's going to happen. Here comes the Meteor Hammer. Creates some space. The Doombringer's locked. Now the damage to the Marauder. Critted down. Misery's the one that gets the kill. The Doom is isolated. Buybacks coming thick and fast from War. But they've lost so much, and what have you really gained? They want to make sure that Roshan belongs to them.
That was a few buybacks.
Every single buyback's on cooldown apart from Drow Ranger.
That was a few of them. So many buybacks, but worth it really. I mean, the arrow in some ways helped out BlinkPool. It made Ward a little bit over-eager to commit to that kill, but on top of the Shrine, with all those TP buybacks, they end up giving him some much-needed kills. He still has a cheese as well. He'd love to replace that with an Aegis. But really good fight there. I'm a little surprised that Misery didn't just song at the start of that previous fight on the high ground, but they just seemed flustered. He waited a little bit of time, and then all of a sudden the Infernal Blade comes down, and Misery got picked off, and at least Madara survived in that engagement, but the fight went super bad. It was perfect initiation by War, no fear on Doom, and they jumped up and followed up well.
This Drow Ranger bought the MKB.
Gotta be careful, she could die right now.
Available, but here comes the rest of Blink. They want the fight to almost happen. The Drow Ranger feels like such insane bait. The Moonlight Shadow now, and there is no dire sentries nearby, but they have the Gem of True Sight on the Naga Siren. As they wait.
They're scared to go in. If they had vision, maybe they go in there, but again, that's the one guy with buyback. If they blow everything on a Drow and she buys back, and then they counter-initiate it, it's not good. But there's no Doom for 15 seconds. It's time to fight if they can catch somebody. They have vision now.
Yeah.
Oh, the double shackle!
It's a huge hit! It got both the Drow and the Mirana. Drow's down, instant buyback will come in. Mirana won't be so lucky. Leap forward, leap back, and then the Abyssal Blade will lock him down. Upheaval makes it difficult for BlinkPool to continue to run, and then a leap down back again. And yep, Doom is back, Doom is up. They're looking for the kill. The banishment is there. The arrow flies forward, and it connects onto Matara. Ritsu's got the back run. Naga can't even Song of the Siren. She got gusted and couldn't get the ultimate off. PA, is this the time you want to buy back? Roshan will be going the way of war.
It looked so good.
Refresher shot too. This is going to be multiple Dooms.
What a beautiful shackle, but they pick off the Drow. The Drow buys back. They almost kill Mirana, but he's got a Satanic in his inventory. That's what healed him up. I thought it was a cheese or something. Pops Satanic, leaps as much as he can, starts right-clicking, and he gets healed up. If they kill Mirana there, I think they win the fight. Quite possibly, but they weren't able to take the team fight win there. They couldn't finish off the Mirana.
War need to force the buyback on the PA, delay that Lincoln Spear even more, even though I don't think the Doom is the real issue. It's just the fact that there's just incredible amounts of damage coming out from War. Like, that Mirana's got plus 252. We're not even looking at a rapier or anything else. It's just hitting like a truck.
Standard right click. Weird items, but it works.
Yeah.
Very likely. I assume this is going to just fall for nothing. Surely.
I don't think they can't defend it until Naga's back up. But without the Song of the Siren, they've got no real setup or real save. But yeah, at least they know the only way that War can keep pushing is if they take the tier 4 towers, because there's tier 1, tier 2 still on bottom lane.
I think this is an okay trade here. Get the PA a little bit more farmed after this resets. I assume they're going to pressure this a little bit. I mean, they can probably kill at least one tier 1 here. You don't want to buy back now.
Right? Like, they still want the buyback on the PA. 15 seconds, it's a little too long.
All right,
So
they clean this
they'll
up.
back up. Doom's off cooldown in 35 seconds. Like, if Doom had to pop the refresher shard to get the Doom off, he would have been a little sad. Because then he won't have the double.
If he had just
one extra gem.
If he had like one more item in these fights, like everything would have been a little different. Maybe he would have killed the Mirana. Maybe getting doomed would have been harder or something like that. But I almost wonder if he should just buy another damage item or something. Like maybe even pick up a Satanic. But Doom would also shut that down. It's really hard for him because he's the very obvious Doom target.
I just want to give props to a Warlock. I actually don't know how he has a 3.6k net worth.
It is.
Oh wait, there it is. It just came on the courier.
It's probably all the gems on the map.
Radiant are scanning.
Just walking around with tranquil boots and a TP scroll. I'm like, oh, okay.
It'll be okay.
And there's 3 gems on the map, and they're all in possession of War.
Shadow Demon's super farmed as well, by the way. He's got Axe picked up. So if he ever uses Demonic Purge on the PA, it's also going to remove his passives. Not just Blur, but his ultimate coup de grace. Gone.
And then he's just able to get even more. Like, I don't think he needs to have the damage for it. He can just get the 2 charges of disruption when he jumps into the fight. He's almost 25.
I think you're right, but damn, dude, plus 500 Demonic Purge damage, that's hard to pass up when you could just triple ulti a guy. But I think you're right, though.
Wind Ranger and PA just permanently purged.
I think you're definitely right, though. If he has 2 charges of disruption, Shackle doesn't mean anything, right? Just disrupt both of them. I'm still not feeling that much impact from Misery here. I don't know. He's got all these good items, but the team fights have just felt really difficult to do.
I think it's also very hectic. Like, BlinkPool wants to initiate. When do you let that Song of the Siren off? Yeah. Like, we were talking about it during the drafting phase. Like, hey, you Song of the Siren, then you go into a Black Hole. That's a very simple kind of combination. This one from BlinkPool is a lot more complex. I'm actually wondering, like, what is the ideal situation for them?
Well, they might run into their opponents here.
Do you want to start with Song of the Siren, or do you want...
It's got to be the right situation. One cool thing about War is the no BKB on Doom, so whenever he jumps in, it's not the most obvious. If he has BKB up, you song it, you kill Doom, one guy gets Doom, no big deal. But it's not like that. He's the frontliner, he goes in first. If you kill Doom first, this is fine. If you kill some other core, it's fine.
Then Moonlight Shadow, they're going to break the smoke if they walk a little bit further north. Yep, there's the smoke break. Doom can see it, the Shackle won't latch it in between the trees, and Nova is pretty damn decent, but the Rock is decent even more. And the Fatal Bonus, the Doom's on the PA, she can't survive this. The Song of the Siren's out, but thanks to BKB of the Mirana will wear off, but she was able to kill the PA. Buyback came in, a quick leap out. Mirana trying to do all the damage, but they're still fatally bonded together. But it's enough to break through the Aegis Immortal. Throw Rangers down, so they've lost an extra bonus, but so is Miller. They've got 2 huge kills who are dead for almost 2 minutes. The Doom has been used once more onto the PA, and they need these kills to actually happen. You've got the backlines, the Ember Spirit ripping apart the Warlock. He can't survive, so Death Golem pops out of his corpse, while the Doombringer, underneath the Sentry Ward, they can see him perfectly. Ensnare him up, hold him there. Madara's waited off the Doom to come in for the kill. 4 heroes down for war. 3 of them do not have buyback available, but Homer's in trouble for BlinkPool.
They're going to be able to defend it though, and everything surprisingly works out in the end. That was the buyback from PA making things really worth it, and the fight start was just far superior essentially. They got most of their spells off. The PA jumps on, I think, the Mirana maybe? No, it was the Dry Ranger got him very low, so he was able to be finished off. And even though there was all that focus on the PA, the important thing was that on the back line, Ember Spirit was able to hide and wait for cooldowns again. Eventually work down the rest of the support line, and from there they eventually get the enemy cores as well, using the buyback. So absolutely worth it. They burned the Aegis as well on Mirana, so they cannot, or at least
145 gold each bounty rune. Warded, like, they were sitting right next to it. Mirana was sitting right next to it, but he came back instantly. Didn't want to take the risk. You've got no rock available. How much damage does BlinkPool do? And do they just go for a GG push? They may not know about these buybacks. They'll
find out
committed,
soon.
so
Radiant's middle barracks.
yeah, Doom's one comes back off cooldown in 20 seconds time. Mirana's up cooldown in 14 seconds time, but she doesn't have the money just yet.
Trying to play it safe
And
here.
SD's still on cooldown and short of cash. Yeah, they're going for a second lane of racks. They can't take the top lane. Tier 2 down, stop that.
Radiant's bottom barracks are
Alright,
under
bot
attack.
Rax is gone. They may disengage from this, we'll see. Misery did miss a creep up top with his illusions. He was a little bit too late for that, but they're going to even things up. This range barracks will be finished by the Plague Wards, and everybody on war is going to reset the game now. So this is a very close game. This is a very even game too.
Yeah, gold has nothing in it. The experience is a little bit up for war, but it's just everything on the map is nicely balanced. All the cores have all the right items they need.
It now comes down to ultra late game items usually, or who is the best late game heroes.
Well, PA crits with 3 stifling daggers when she has the extra damage, and Madara was looking at Nullifier. He's just changed to Rapier.
I think that's the move, honestly. Like, he's got if the enemy cores had butterflies, I think that would actually make a big impact. But I don't think they're too worried about the PA damage. They're probably thinking, if we doom this guy, it's straightforward. But with that said, if he gets a Rapier and his damage massively jumps, then it gets harder and harder. Especially
at the same time, we've seen Madara being dealt with. Obviously, he won't have a refresher shot Doom this time around, and he has the Lincoln speed to protect himself.
It's getting pretty close to refresher. Not too far away. Maybe 2,000 gold. A little bit of downtime. He could make his way there. So, just got to defend him though. If he dies here, he does end up being dead for a very long time. So this is what it's all about. If they can doom and kill PA, fight is probably over.
Which one's the real one? There's a lot of misery.
That's why this Radiance is so good, man. If they couldn't push lanes like this, it would BlinkPool would just feel like they're in the game, in their base all the time against Moonlight Shadow. This is such a good pickup.
The jungle they go. Both sides.
See, Dry was going for an E-Blade this game. It's been a while since we saw E-Blade. I am thinking of AUI's infamous E-Blade from long ago, but I think this one's kind of okay. He's got the 50% cooldown perk, so...
It'll be like the only way you can dodge the Phantom Assassin.
Yep, and
like even the Stifling Daggers, you need to go Shadow Blade to dodge that, or like, you don't have a blink on the drone.
Yeah, and he's got such low cooldowns, I don't know if it's going to matter. The Ghost Scepter is currently a 10-second cooldown, 5-second, or 4-second uptime. E-Blade is a 20-second, I believe, when I just checked it. So, that'll have to 10. So you can E-Blade every 10 seconds to save an ally, or himself, or hit the PA. So if PA's BKB is down, he's going to be halberded, he's going to be E-Bladed.
I love how too the drone range doesn't even prioritize getting some Silver Edge in this game. Because you get the SD is such a powerhouse.
Yeah, he doesn't really need it. With the MKB alone, he's pretty much covered. And if you can't go Silver Edge really if he has BKB. If he BKBs on time, then Silver Edge doesn't matter. So it's just much better things to spend 3,000 gold on. I think the E-Blade is not a bad idea at all.
Bottom shrine is under attack.
So,
well, they're hiding inside the base. BlinkPool, they want to have a good fight. They want to have a fantastic fight if possible.
Has fallen.
They still don't have enough for a buyback on PA. So, but this is why they're sitting, because they know if there's a good Doom and a good initiation, they lose the game.
They're gonna fight through backdoor regen.
Nah, they're
maybe
fishing.
take the tier 2, or at least take the creep wave. Damn, creep waves are so huge now.
They do a lot of damage.
They actually have the damage output. This isn't even with Drew Aura. Now BlinkPool, they're using one of their very rare smokes at the end. They want to come and look for Roshan. He's a minute and a half away, so they're too early. This is a very late spawn time for Roshan.
But if they do get set up here, and their opponents walk into this, they still have Moonlight Shadow, but it's almost gone here. Misery just creating new illusions. They might realize they're going to know he's on the map. And they see the Plague Ward as well. So they know that their opponents are here somewhere. And we know BlinkPool likes to play, defend the high ground. So there's a couple places they could be. There's still a Shrine here
still
too.
Pushing mid. See, those illusions going to time out in a second. Yeah, they've come back. They've all come back.
The fact that the Shrine here is actually pretty bad. BlinkPool, if they get some time, or any map control, they need to kill these things. Because that's buyback advantage for War. I mean, there's a lot of BOTs, but...
Almost everyone is buyback apart from the PA and the Venoman, so they're still on cooldown for about a minute and a half to 2.
There's actually no BOTs yet, except for like Venomancer. So the Shrine is actually a really big deal right now. So they don't find anything in their little lookout on the map.
Catch us if you can.
Maybe they should have delayed that by a bit. I don't know if is this a late spawn? Not really.
It's a real late spawn.
Okay.
Like we're talking like 15-30 seconds away from Mac. But E-Blade is done. Oh, the hello double damage rune. Misery doesn't even wait to give that to the PA. He just grabs that and gets the hell out.
He's scary now. Yeah, it'd be really, really dangerous if like Marana or Draw picks that up.
Yeah, they're already at it's 400 damage roughly for a Marana. The Drow Ranger is over that. Like Drow Ranger's at 450 damage a hit.
Pretty good.
Hey, even SD is hitting about 200, about 250.
Shadows take us.
On top of his control. But there's problems down on bottom lane. This creep wave has come in. Someone has to come back to deal with it. And Roshan has just spawned up.
Well, the vision control is great.
They're wasting so much time with this.
They even have gems on the... Are they carrying it on the rating? I don't see... There's one on Warlock, I guess, but... It just seems like so much better lane control.
You got Warlock 1, Ember, and Veno are the other 2 controllers. And Doom just jumps in.
He got shackled.
And the shackles. That's problematic. Defensive disruption up from the SD. Arrows fly forward a long way. Won't connect on anybody. That tier 4 tower is still going down. They're losing their parts of their base right now, War, in order to do this. And can they kill Roshan fast enough? They actually started it with the Drow Ranger. Marana got bashed up. They Moonlight Shadow continuously. And BlinkPool want to fight, but they also know that, like, while the Founder's being threatened, War have got to be worried about home, but they can't go back. Unless someone actually has BTs.
They do get another Observer Ward on the high ground at least, and yep, they're going to be able to kill it with a Sentry. Toxic playing this one very careful, does not want to get caught here. Are there any other hexes?
Scout Roshan.
He's picking one up. Nothing on Venom, he's got a Yule. Hex being built on Ember Spirit, he doesn't have enough for both that and buyback. But man, the advantage that the Radiance is giving is just so massive. He's going to go Octarine next.
More fishing arrows. They're all way too short. And remember your bounty runes, War. You still need that money for the Doombringer to finish up his refresher. You still always need money, even BTs, anything. There's 3 bounty runes still sitting on the map ungathered. One of them near Roshan.
If I picked up Ember, does not have the most mana right now. Arrow could hit him.
No. Observer wards are just everywhere. Same with the Plague Wards. I've seen these arrows coming from a mile away. And Throw starting again.
Oh, he can definitely take the solo.
Feeding into Roshan.
This is good. I love the new ward placement by Kitrak as well. They're going to spot Roche. I don't think they can get in here. Naga's in base getting mana. I think this is it.
It's that one time that someone had to fall back, right? Even the BKB, they don't care. They're 5-second durations.
They don't realize how safe they were, but that's the right play to make. You don't want to gamble there. But that was just kind of a combination of many things. Took them a while to kill the ward on the high ground. They didn't quite have the lanes in a good spot. Misery was a little bit too low on mana. Wouldn't have had enough to cast everything. So just good timing there by War and doing a great job to threaten with Doom. Like Frev's done some great jobs just jumping aggressively continuously to make BlinkPool uncomfortable. And even when they do catch him, the Shadow Demon's always ready to go for like a Blink Disruption and buy him a little time. He's not an easy kill. So there's Refresher Shard and
Refresher Shard Orb. And Refresher Orb. But he doesn't have enough mana, I don't think, to actually use what would effectively be, depending how he wants to bounce it.
It's definitely a lot, but it's if he really wanted to triple doom, he could. And
Yeah.
the Refresher Orb gives a lot of regen anyway, so that plus his Shivas, he's got so much in.
Shadows
He will be...
take
Oh,
us.
they
It's going to be a
just
hard
found
next
Holy
fight.
Grail. Double damage being pinged out on bottom lane.
And
The
the
top lane's
Sunrana.
being pushed in by Misery, so they're keeping him at bay, but this bottom lane just became a lot more enticing, with Mirana now going up to plus 409 damage.
And they're fishing around top for a
Radiant's
solo
top
kill.
tower is
They're hoping
under
somebody will
attack.
come back and split push. They don't care about this tier 2.
Yep. Both teams still have fortification, both teams still have scan. They know what's coming. Hezu's waiting in the trees. He's looking for the perfect ultimate from the side. Wonder if
great
there's
spot.
a Shadow Poison Scout. The smoke
Radiant's
Or
did
arrow.
it break?
tower is under
Arrow didn't spot it.
attack.
No,
Dire
it didn't.
structures are
They're beaten into the
fortified.
towers. That double damage
Radiant's
fortification
top
buys them
tower
time.
is falling.
Into the trees and
He's gonna get spotted, maybe.
Smoke broke.
Ooh.
Smoke broke. They
Radiant's
have to
top
know.
tower.
Or do they? Well, Moonlight shut it up as well. They may not have really noticed it. The Kezu was just waiting. But now the rotation comes out. It's actually War moving to the west. Mirana is stunned up for a little bit thanks to the Shackle. And the stuns from the Stifling Daggers.
Satanic for safety, so he doesn't get bursted here. Might shackle him. Okay.
I'll latch again. They're just coming too deep into the trees. Ritsu's poking into the base. They gotta be careful, there's sentry wards everywhere.
Naga did a decent job pushing up top. The tier 2's gone, the tier 3's
Wards
damaged,
in.
but oh.
Shackle's gonna latch. Mirana, defensive disruption, and the 4 start to pull him back. And the tier 4 towers start taking
They're just
damage
gonna
from
go
wings. That's a lot of illusions doing the work, and here comes Indova. It connects nicely. Remember, they got the Aegis Immortal, and maybe with these BKBs, they can just tank it. The Phantom Assassin, she uses the cheese. She's got life back up again. Misery buys them the time to reset. And to get Venomancer in, maybe with the hammer, they hit the Mirana. The rock will drop. The Feather Balls needs to connect him up too. Ritsu, he needs to do some work. Now this Aegis Immortal has worked onto the Mirana. She chases up after that Phantom Assassin, looking for the kill. The win rate dies thanks to the Doom that's on her. But it's Mirana a little bit further north, killing off the Venomancer, looking towards the PA. And they're all running back from the upheaval. Mirana turns around, realizes where the easy kills are. It's the retreating heroes underneath the shrine. Even one attack into the tier 4 towers, but Biomass comes thick and fast. SC jumps in deep, looking for more
They're hitting
destruction.
tower.
It's the PA. And now into the tier 4 tower. It will go down. The Golem's doing work. The Dire Ancient now exposed. BlinkPool. 4-man lineup trying to defend this. The Warlock doesn't really have a lot to offer anyway, but the
Gets
Blink with the
duped.
Doom, and he'll get it onto the Phantom Assassin. That's the big one with the Fatal Bonds. That's what you see from the Warlock. And Wind Ranger wants the shackle, wants the chance. PA will fight back, but it's done it. 64 minutes, 40 seconds. But they finally push through, and they'll get that chance to face up against OG.